When you talk about the soul and when you talk about the heart and the soul have needs. They have essential needs, just like the body has needs. And one of the essential needs of the heart and of the soul is to have oxygen, to have food and water. Just like the body needs food and water, just like the body needs oxygen, the heart and the soul need its oxygen to stay alive. And the oxygen of the heart and the soul is the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That what that does, it's literally food for the soul. You've heard this expression, but it's literally feeds the soul. And so one of the things that sometimes we do that starves us spiritually is that we deprive our hearts and souls of oxygen. Simple as that. And what are some of the ways we do that? We do that, number one, the most extreme way in which we deprive our hearts and souls of spiritual oxygen is when we're not praying. When we don't pray, or we don't pray as we're told to pray 5 times a day, it's like depriving the heart of its oxygen, of the spiritual oxygen that it needs to just be okay and stay alive. This is just to stay alive. Just as the body, it requires oxygen, right? Just to stay alive. And then beyond that, it has other needs. But the most essential need of the body is oxygen. And it's the same thing with the heart. That the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, first and foremost our salah, is what is keeping our heart spiritually oxygenated. The second point I want to make is this, is mentally. So there are ways that we feed our hearts and souls. There are ways that we feed our bodies, and there are ways that we feed our mind. And one of the ways to keep our mind healthy, and this is a principle that you will just take home with you, and that is that what you focus on grows. Psychologically, the things that we focus on tend to become bigger and bigger. And so one thing that a person can do is shifting the focus of what it is that you focus on in your life each day. See, the thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in the Quran is inna ma'al usri yusra. What does it mean to say inna ma'al usri yusra? One of the mistranslations that people have of this verse is after every hardship comes ease. After every hardship comes ease. But this ayah doesn't say inna ba'd. The word is ma'a. Now the word ma'a means alongside, with. With the hardship comes ease. This is a profound point. What it means is that at any given point in time, any hardship that you are given, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you ease at the same time. And if you look at linguistically the ayah, the hardship is singular and the ease is plural. And that's also a very profound point, because what it means is that Allah never only gives us difficulty. Allah never only gives us struggle. Allah at the same time gives us yusr. And this is the plural of ease. The plural of ease. And then again it is repeated. Inna ma'al usri yusr. So the idea here is that at any given point, there is no one in their life that only has difficulty or only has ease. It's always a mix. And so what does shifting your focus mean? Shifting your focus is a mental exercise where it's about what is your focal point. See, there are people whose focal point is, for example, what is missing. Now, what is this alluding to? This is alluding to the practice of gratitude. And the reason I'm mentioning this is because it has been shown, not just in the Quran, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِذْ تَأَذَّنَ رَبُّكُمْ لَإِنْ شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ. Allah says that your Lord is telling you this, that if you are grateful, I will increase you. But interestingly enough, in psychological research, they are finding the power of gratitude. That gratitude, the practice of gratitude daily, has been shown to alleviate physical as well as psychological symptoms. And so this is something that we already have in our deen. The other thing I want to mention when it comes to focus is how we cope and deal with our past. Now, the past is something that can be very painful. Many of us may have trauma even in our past. Two extremes in dealing with difficult or painful pasts. On the one hand, you have the people who tell you to put a band-aid on it. You know, just suck it up, you know, get over it. Yeah, get over it. Could be worse. These kinds of terrible things that people say that are not helpful, right? And sometimes even cultures kind of push this type of put your happy face on type of attitude, right? Numb it. Just appear happy and everything will be okay. And this is a little bit like getting a gunshot wound and putting a Band-Aid on it. You can't say time heals all wounds if you didn't address the wound. Does that make sense? And so there's that side of the extreme where wounds are not being addressed, and they cannot heal if they're not addressed.